Harry, how sweet was that? The first victory in this fixture in this stadium.
Yeah, no, really important result. You know, Chelsea are a top team, tough to play against them. We've struggled, especially here at home, against them in the last few years. So, yeah, really important win. We played really well, especially second half. I thought we really put our foot on the pedal and, yeah, deserved a 2-0 win.
If the victory was sweet, Ollie, how sweet was your first goal for Tottenham?
No, it was great. First goal, so it's always a special one, and to do it in that game, yeah, it means a lot.
Be honest, could you have hit it any better? It was absolutely magnificent.
No, I mean, I think I cut across it slightly. It wasn't completely clean, but, you know, when it drops on the edge of the box, we do a lot of work on getting those second balls. So, no, it just bounced up nicely, so I thought I'll give it a hit.
Well, let's ask an expert in the subject. How good?
No, it was top quality, wasn't it? It was as good as you can hit them, really. And like Skippy said, we work a lot in training about edge of the box finishing from second balls, and he's been working hard, so nice to see it pay off.
The fact that you came here as a boy and come through the club, it must be such a proud moment for you.
No, it means a lot. I think Harry will echo the same feeling. When you come through the club, you know these London derbies are massive, so we know how much it means to the supporters, and we know in the last few years how difficult some of the games have been, so it's been nice to put a few smiles back on their faces.
And how proud of you is another clean sheet?
Yeah, I think the boys at the back were brilliant. They didn't create too much. They might have had a lot of the ball towards the second half, but everyone dug in, everyone making tackles, making blocks, doing things that you need to keep that clean sheet.
Was that the key today, Harry, the unity out there?
I think so. I think we spoke about it a lot over the last few weeks now. Clean sheets are going to win your games because we have good attacking power, we're going to create chances. So, and we've done that well, you know, apart from the Leicester game, which was a blip, but the games around that we've played pretty solid and kept clean sheets. So, yeah, if we want to be around the top four coming in the season, we're going to have performances like that today.
Obviously, Antonio Conte wasn't here today. What's it like? Because you're still playing for him. He's micromanaging. He sees every training session. He's on the phone all the time. What is that like for you?
Yeah, it's different. It's of course it's difficult. You know, we want our manager to be there and be with us, but we know he's doing the most important thing for him and his family at the moment, and staying healthy. So I'm sure he's itching to get back. I'm sure it's not nice him watching it at home. I'm sure he'll be jumping up and down around the living room. So yeah, we just got to stay focused. You know, Christian and Ryan and the staff here have done an amazing job keeping us focused. And like I say, it's the gaffer's ideas that we're working towards. He's just not here at the moment, so it's nice to keep winning whilst he's away.
And Ollie, what would you say about the next 10 days for Spurs? Huge games coming up, the FA Cup.
You know, towards the business end of the season, these games keep coming thick and fast, and if we want to be where we want to be, we've got to keep putting in performances like that, and hopefully even better.
Well, a very special day for you today. Congratulations, you were the player of the match as well. Harry, do the honours, please.
Well done, mate. Cheers. Well done. Great finish.
Cheers, guys.
Guys, thank you.
Yeah, two of Tottenham's own, and we know all about Harry Kane. But what a special day that was for Oliver, Skip.
Oh, lovely, you know, to get off the mark as well as a rasping goal, wasn't it? Edge of the box, he struck it well. And he deserves that player of the match because his all-round game typified how Tottenham played today. They were solid when they needed to be, and they looked really dangerous on the counter. And it's just really, I know Conte wasn't there today, but it was just exactly how Conte likes to play. And when they do it well, they look dangerous.
Let's have a look at this goal then. 19 seconds after the restart.
Yeah, no surprises, Steve, as well, what's going to happen here. You look at all these players all lining up. This ball's going to go back, and then there's a player just out of shot there that's going to launch it further up. But what we are a little bit surprised at, Glenn, is when we just run it through just a second or so, look at this back four of Chelsea. They all take almost a step back as the ball goes back 20 yards.
Yeah, we spotted it. I mean, the ball's going back probably 25 yards, even more than that. Yeah. And their first instinct is to drop off. Now there's still 2 seconds for the ball to travel that distance. Look where they are. It's midfield. It's Loftus-Cheek going up for the header. That should be a centre-back or a back four player, and the midfield should be pushed in. I think without Thiago Silva on the pitch, they would have been up there.
So that should be the back line around there.
Yeah.
Midfield sort of in this type of line.
Absolutely. That's the simple side of the game. Their first instinct, as you say, was to go back. The ball's gone back 30 yards. They're going backwards. Yeah. And that's what Tottenham wanted to do. Their intent to start the game was then you have the second ball and the space to get the flick on, and you're straight at the back four, and the rest is history. They keep the ball really well, and they could have scored with Emma. Look, Sterling sleeping.
Yeah, one long ball, Steve, and they're a flick on, and they're on the edge of the box straight away. I mean, this should have probably been a goal from Royale to start with. He probably needed to go for power here as opposed to
I think he needed
precision.
to drill it. I think West Ham, he placed it, didn't he, in the corner.
Yeah.
We saw it before the game. He's trying to do it again, but this is
This as well, this area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Second balls.
I think, Michael, in that dressing room, when the sending off was changed, I think Christian Stellini would have, and his staff would have got right at them. They started right on the front foot, and Chelsea started slow. And this is a great example of determination to get that ball, get in front, and take his chance. Now, Kepa might have done a bit better, in my opinion. The distance of the ball, he gets a little finger to it. But look how deep they are. This is the first seconds of the second half. Look how deep they are there. Tottenham are on the edge of the box and they haven't had to do that much. Suddenly they've got a chance. Chelsea are on the back foot. They scramble it away. And for me, that's where Skip, he scored the goal with a great effort, but he's won it with the determination of leaving Felix for dead.
Yeah, I think this is the best angle, isn't it, goalkeeper-wise? He's just, his weight is on his right-hand side, but he gets enough on that with his hand. I think it's a goalkeeper mistake, personally, Steve.
That's the braveness. He's gone in front of Felix. He's struck it really well, because sometimes when the ball's going away from you, to generate the pace is quite difficult, but he's got enough pace on it, and as Michael says, the body weight's just going to the right. And when it happened, we said, was that top corner?
Yeah,
and we
or did it take a deflection?
I was thinking it's gone a bit central for me, but the keeper, I think Kepa could have done better because of the distance. Sometimes if you haven't got reactional time because it's 8 yards away, you can't do it. That's coming from a long way.
So early in the season in this fixture, we saw Harry Kane score late on for an equaliser. Today we saw him score late on to seal it.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's from a set piece, this one, Steve. An outswinger, Son's on the ball. And this is a simple near post header onto the back post, and we see Harry Kane sweeping up at the back. I think the first question is that a foul from Eric Dyer? Is he climbing all over Mason Mount? In terms of Harry Kane, he adjusts his body really, really well. But this is the area we're looking at here. Glenn, not sure what you think.
Well, I think anywhere else on the pitch, that could be given as a foul. Look, he's pinned him down, Mount. There, look, that looks a foul to me. I've got to say, my real crux from Chelsea's point of view is, look, if we can play that back, look at Sterling. What is Sterling doing being marking Harry Kane? And then, typical, he's a wide player, he's an attacking player. He's picking up Harry Kane there at the back post.
He's not even looking at he's not even looking at the ball there.
But what does he do, Michael? He's there, putting him on. Then he lets him go.
Yeah.
If you're a defender, or, hey, listen, every Chelsea player, when you're defending a corner, is a defender. He's not an attacker. But one, what's he doing picking up Harry Kane? Two, do your job. See your job out. Chilwell's looking at the ball. He lets Harry Kane go. And there, the little difference is, Harry Kane picks up loads of goals from set plays in that back post, doesn't he? He makes that little movement.
And you know what? I love the way he makes it look so simple, because people will be watching this, Harry Kane here, and just thinking, oh, it's a simple tapping at the back. But you know what? Lots of people will plant their leg there. Just have a quick look at that. Lots of people will plant their leg and swing and thrash at it. I'll just take it before. Just watch the little hop he does with his standing leg, his left leg. Here it goes. And he hops into it to almost, not to smack it, just to guide it, just to knock it into the ground. You don't have to hit the ball out the middle of the ball every single goal. We saw the same situation at Crystal Palace last night. Somebody trying to lash it into the goal. And just a little hop skip.
But just a big incident just before half-time to reflect on. Extraordinary, really. We've still got 11 v 11. We didn't think so at one stage.
No, exactly that. Cool. Where do we start with this? So, Richarlison obviously gets out on Ziyech in the first place, and there's a little bit of handbags there. But then after that, that's the main thing: the shove, the push on the arm of Richarlison. No, it's of Emerson Royale, and then the hand actually bounces off the arm and catches him in the face. From that angle, I think, oh, this could be red. From this angle, I think, I think the yellow is probably the right decision. But a whole load of confusion, because obviously the referee then jumps the gun with a red card and then changes it, and, you know, a bit of a mess. But I do think they got to the right decision in the end.
So, Glenn, he spoke to the assistant, Darren Can. Ziyech thought he was getting sent off.
Yeah.
And then Paul Tierney has recommended a review.
To go and have a look at it. That's got to happen before he puts the red himself. He's put himself in a corner there. And fortunately, I agree. I think it's a yellow card, not a red. I really do. But you know, it's a shame for the ref now. He's under immense pressure. You see all the Spurs players, the fans, every time Ziyech gets the ball now, the fans will be up for... He's put himself under pressure because he just needed to bide some time. He was giving yellows out, so he had time. Someone must have said to him about, you might need to see this, it might be a red, go and have a look. Before the red's given, that's the problem. Once he gives a red, now you get a reaction from the Spurs players, reaction from the crowd, reaction from us. And that's where it's just misfired a little bit. But I've got to say, I'm with Michael, I think it's the right decision. Okay. I don't think it's a sending off.
We got there in the end. Paul Tierney was in VAR. Let's speak to Dermot Gallagher. Try and talk us through the timeline of events there then, please, Derm.
I agree with Glenn and Michael. I think the right results come to Steve, honestly. I think it looks messy. I think Stewart looks and he thinks he's punched him. When you see it again, you see the angle, the second angle he showed me. It's quite clearly it's caught him across the shoulder. It hasn't caught him in the face. So Paul Tierney's done him a massive favour. I think what he sees here, he's looking round, he's looking at Ziyech. And whether he sees the reaction of Romero and that's what convinced him it's a red card, I don't know. But what I will say, this is where VAR has worked really well for me. Because the minute the red card came out, I heard Paul Tierney say to him, I'm going to recommend an on-field review. Sent him over to the screen. Stewart retains all options at the screen. He can retain what he's done. He can change to a yellow card when he did. And I think he's changed correctly. It's interesting what Glenn says about pressure because with this incident, I think half-time's come at the right time for him because he's got 15 minutes to sit down with his colleagues, get himself together and go out and refocus.
So ultimately, we all think the right decision has been made, and it's actually a very good use of VAR, and Paul Tierney in VAR has really helped out the on-field official.
I agree with that, Steve. I think that's brilliant what he's done because not only has he got the right decision, but he's got it very, very quickly because as soon as the red Stewart was sorted out, he's been going through the footage, he's looked at it, he's established in his mind what the correct outcome should be, and when he's seen it's not, he's recommended Stewart to go.
How did the referee come to the terms that he was going to give the red in the first place? Because I don't think he saw that. There's so much going on. He didn't see that altercation. He was too busy trying to find out who he had to book. And so he's put the red there. Someone must have told him that there was a red, there was a contact. Because I didn't see him, he didn't go to his red until there was a big gap after the yellows had been given. If you're going to give somebody a red, you could do that first, surely.
Well, that's interesting, Glenn, because I just bumped into somebody as I walked over here and I said, always when I was a referee, it was always red cards first.
Yeah.
Why he chose to do it that way, I don't know. But what I will say, however messy it looked, I think we have come to the right outcome.
Yeah.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed. So plenty to talk about at the end of that first half. Let's hope we get some goals to reflect on in the second. It's all to play for. It is still 11. Skipping a jump to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and go back to Tim Sherwood, who's smiling after that second half. Tim, what was it like in the stadium to see Tottenham do that to Chelsea?
Yeah, it was electrifying in here. I mean, great atmosphere, and I thought they were very, very good. In the second period, I thought it was a really poor game in the first half, lack of quality with a lot of good players on the pitch. But the second half, obviously you get a wonderful start with Skippy's goal, and they just went on from there and they dominated the game. They was in full control. I never felt for 1 minute while I was sitting there that any of Chelsea players would turn this game on its head. They just never got an opportunity to.
And in terms of Tottenham, what does that do? Because as we've been mentioning, they've had their issues in this fixture.
Yeah.
To keep, that's 4 wins in 5 as well now.
Yeah. I mean, they're in good nick at the moment, and I always point a finger at them saying they don't win the big games against the big six, but I'm not sure we can consider Chelsea as a big six team at this moment in time. They had the magnificent result against Man City, and when Chelsea come here, all the fans really, they're hoping more than expecting to win, and I thought they deserved it today. I thought Chelsea was so bad.
And where does it leave Chelsea? I mean, they've lost 7 of the last 13 league games, Tim.
There's just no pattern. We come here not really expecting what to expect. Whether they're going to play 4 at the back, 3 at the back, whatever they're going to do. We didn't know what personnel. And they play like that. You know, there's no continuity, there's no relationships on the pitch, and I think he's under serious pressure now, Graham Potter, because look, they want to give him time, and we all want time as managers. You want time, and they will turn it around. You spend that amount of money, you know, I think you will turn it around in the end. But unfortunately, you've got to win. You're a Chelsea manager. We know Mr. Abramovich would have already sent him packing by now, and I think Todd Bowley wants to be a little bit more patient, but I just can't see any positives in that performance today, and certainly not the result. I mean, this is the ground where Chelsea always win, and they didn't even look like winning from moment one. I thought they were very, very poor today, and unfortunately, that's the game. Glenn will tell you, that's the management job. You don't win, you're under pressure.
Tim, Glenn here. You're at the stadium there, you'd have a sense of it. Were they playing for him? Did you get that feeling that they're really behind him with the manager and they're going out on a limb for him? Or from the studio, it's difficult for us to pick that up, but you're at the stadium.
I think in the first 10 minutes, I thought they were very good. They're very confident. They're popping it around. I'm thinking this could be, you know, a very difficult afternoon. As soon as they went behind Glenn in the second half, that's when you need people to stand up and show that you're performing for the shirt. And I never saw that. I really didn't see that. I thought they lacked effort. They lacked a plan. And it was just hope. It's just like, can one of them world-class players turn it around, you know? And just got dominated from start to finish. I think Tottenham had more of a game plan, more of a structure, more willpower. And unfortunately, it was a really poor performance from Chelsea. And I think it lacked that desire, Glenn. I think you're absolutely right. And you could sense it in here. The Chelsea fans leave before the end. I mean, 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the end, they're going. They're going home. You don't see that from Chelsea fans. They never even could be bothered to stand and boo the team. You know, they just left.
Thank you for now, Tim. We'll be back to you in a moment. Statistics, Michael. 2 wins in 15 league games for Chelsea. And in that period, they've scored 8 goals. They are the lowest scorers in the Premier League in the last 15 matches.
It's incredible, and it's a pattern that we looked at before the game, and it's continued today. You know, with all that money, and you've got to keep harping on about the money they've spent, because it's an extraordinary amount. They still don't look any more potent. They've got no strikers, really, injured at the moment, in Breuer. And it's their biggest problem. And we looked at Havertz and his role before the game, and how when he drops off, they've not got anybody running in behind. So it is a problem, and it's one that, you know, the manager's got to sort out quick.
Well, scoring goals for Tottenham wasn't a problem today, was it? What a start to the second half they had. Let's go back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and speak to Oliver Skipp. Well, great to see you. This is a day you'll never forget in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to score my first goal and for it to be in a game like this doesn't get much sweeter than this, really.
Give us an idea of that adrenaline rush then. 19 seconds into the second half when that ball hits the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw in my celebration, I didn't quite know what to do. But yeah, the ball just broke to me, and we've been working a lot on like controlling the counter-attack from the second phase. So when it dropped to me on the edge of the box, it's something that we do a lot in training. So it was actually came quite natural to me just to get the shot off, and luckily it went in.
And the fact you've had 66 games before today, it's a long wait, makes it more special, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's my first goal for Tottenham and coming through the academy, so it makes it a little bit sweeter, I think.
Oliver, well played. It's Michael Owen here. I was just wondering, you know, just before the half-time break, there was a bit of scuffle. There was a few yellow cards sent and a red card, but rescinded. But then you came out the traps. I think it was 19-odd seconds when you scored that goal. Was there anything to do with that little, you know, that heated exchange, let's say, and then the half-time team talk that made you come out the trap so quick?
Yeah, I think it was just a case of being slightly more aggressive. Maybe first half we gave them a little bit too much respect, and I think that maybe even it got the crowd up a bit, and you know, when the crowd gets up here, that it can be really, really difficult for opposition teams. So we felt that if we could try and get the crowd, use the emotion of the game, that we could really start fast in the second half, and then we managed to do that, and we managed to keep building from that.
Yeah, Oliver, Glenn Hoddle here. Congratulations on your first goal. It was magnificent. What was lovely from my point of view is the celebration of all your teammates. I mean, they went absolutely nuts. They were so pleased for you, and it was really good. The team spirit looks good there at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's something we really try to work on, and I feel like we've got a real close group. Even when things haven't been going so well, I think the team always sticks together, and we'll find ways to dig ourselves out of bad situations. I think you've seen that we've been behind in many games this season, but we always find a way to come back, and I think that's testament to the team spirit in the group.
Well, Oliver, like we say, today is the day you will never ever forget. Whatever